What's up, everybody? Welcome to part two of week six, NFL and college breakdowns. And we just got finished talking about Army. We're going to move right along here to Okie State at Texas Tech. Now, my line, when I saw this, I immediately, Okie State minus 10. It opened at 7. It is now 10.5, I think. Actually, 5 times has it at 10. It got as high as 11 earlier in the week. It's kind of settling at 10.5, 10. Again, like Army, I'm not really sure what to do with this game since I kept right at the number. I don't really know if there's an edge. Okie State going on the road here, laying double digits. It's kind of tough with that leaky defense. Texas Tech just got destroyed by Oklahoma. I'm not really sure where their head's at. They could come out totally flat, or they could come out really energized. So again, not really sure what I'm going to do with this game. If I see it at 9.5, or I may buy it down to 9.5. Again, maybe I'll take it depending on how I feel tomorrow. Usually I make a lot of these decisions tomorrow on Friday. But right now, it's just sitting at 10. I capped it at 10. No edge. I don't know if it's worth putting in a teaser or not. Still a road game. So, all right, Virginia Tech and Miami. This line really surprised me here. I had this Virginia Tech +3, only much like BC, only because they were going on the road. And I see it open at 8.5, and immediately got bet all the way up to 14, and I found 14.5 at BetUs, and I've grabbed it. I think so. Two things. One, these teams to me are equal teams. Miami has done nothing to show me that they're any better than Virginia Tech. Okay, Virginia Tech did get beat badly by Duke, but I don't care. Miami has played a little step on the competition, I guess, with Florida. Having Florida the first game of the year, but since then they've played. Let me get this here. UNC lost. Beth Cookman, okay, they won. Central Michigan, they won, but they couldn't cover. And now they have Virginia Tech. Okay, so your best two games are losses, Florida and UNC. Okay, Virginia Tech, I'm not saying they're any better. They did lose at BC. They beat Old Dominion. They beat Furman, and they got crushed by Duke. Okay. Again, what has Miami done to earn 14.5 points? Nothing. And Miami's terrible covering big numbers like this, double-digit numbers like this. 14.5, took it. Okay? I think I'm not saying Virginia Tech's going to win. All I'm saying is you're going to see a better effort and a better team than we saw last week when they got destroyed by Duke. That's all I'm saying. Liberty and New Mexico State. New Mexico State is winless. I think Liberty turned in a clunker last week. I think you're going to see a much more focused team. I think they're going to try and get back to their old ways of throwing the ball and running up score. So I had this at -7. I think it came out at -4.5. It's at 5 now. Again, New Mexico State, winless team, not very good. Liberty, I think, is I think this line is also a product of what we saw last week, where they struggled against New Mexico. Arizona at Colorado. Colorado, I had capped this at Colorado -6. It opened at 3. It is now 4. I think this is just a really tough spot for Arizona here. They beat UCLA, and now they gotta go on the road, play at Colorado, and they have Washington next game. I guarantee you, most of these players are peeking ahead, looking at that Washington game. They got Washington at home, and they're gonna overlook Colorado here. We don't know Tate's status. They did changed their defense, which I thought was interesting. I think they went to what Virginia's running now, a 3-3-5 or something, and that's helped them. But it's still early. Colorado's had a week off. They are not looking ahead to anything, and so I think this is just a great spot for Colorado here to get a nice Pac-12 win. Too tricky of a spot for Arizona, coming off a big win or coming off a win, and having to travel and having Washington looking ahead. So I think they dropped this game. All right, San Diego State at Colorado State. We're still fading Colorado State here because of their quarterback and wide receiver injury issues. Quarterback tore ACL, I think, for the third time in 3 years, or for the fourth time in 4 years, something crazy, something awful. I feel bad for the kid. Wideout situation is shaky at best. San Diego State's a better team, in my opinion, than Utah State. Even though I shouldn't say that. Utah State beat both these teams. So I shouldn't say that. I think San Diego State can go in there and get a win, mainly because I think Colorado State's going to come out flat, because I think they've kind of rallied around and circled the wagons kind of thing, because they made a really, really nice effort in the first half against Utah State. But they ultimately gave up the game and lost by 10. I think San Diego State is just in a better position to win this game by running the ball and playing better defense than Utah State did. So my line -7, current line's -7.5. This game opened at 7.5. It hasn't moved. Again, by the half point, I guess, or pass it. I wouldn't lay 7.5. All right, Cal, Oregon. I have Cal here +10. Current line's +18. Guys, I understand that the Cal quarterback got hurt. Trust me, I know this. I lost money on Cal last week because of it. And Modster looked horrible in back, and when he got pressed into playing that game. It's a tough thing to ask kid to do, to go in there against Arizona State's defense. Now he's had a week of practice. They're going to have to lean on their defense and running game to stay in this game. Oregon will play that game with you. They'll play that defense possession type game, and not risk it, not risk turnovers and things like that. So I think this kind of plays into Cal's new strategy of grinding out possessions, giving your defense lots of rest, playing offense to help your defense. I'm not saying Cal's going to win, but 18 points I think is way too much for Cal's situation. This is an overreaction by the market because of the guy going down and Modster's horrible play. Oregon in my opinion, hasn't played anybody. People are like, oh, their defense is so good. Well, they haven't really played elite offenses. I'm not saying Cal is an elite offense by any stretch, but it's not like Oregon's going to completely stonewall Cal, in my opinion. Cal's going to be able to move the ball, I think, and Oregon's going to be able to move the ball too. They got that Herbert guy, so I don't see. A lot of people are like, oh, it's a blowout. I don't really see a blowout because the Cal's defense is so good, and I think they'll be able to run the ball and move the ball a little bit to give the defenses some rest and some chances to get this game to the fourth quarter. This game gets to the fourth quarter, I think we're good. Cal +18 with that defense. All right, guys, we're approaching 10 minutes again. I'm going to stop right here and move on to part 3.